Marlo. I feel like it has been a minute. I feel like literally when you graduate high school, it's like that's it. You gone, and
Literally.
shit just happened. And you look back and you're like, oh my god, everybody's so much older now, like thriving, and we love to see it. But how have you been? Like, what have you been up to?
Well, basically, I've just like been pushing with my study, like, because I'm studying physiotherapy. So it's been such a roller coaster because first year was fine. Like that's like basically like first year you gain like 60 credits to like get your propedeuse, which is like kind of like a some kind of graduation ceremony where you like uh get the right to stay in the study, I guess you could say. So like you're like pushing for all those credits, making sure like you pass that first year. Otherwise they could like kick you out of the school basically. But I was like busy with that, and then like second year it was going all right, and then Corona hit. So that pretty much just like that canceled everything. So I've just been like trying to stick with my study, but it was like really difficult because since physio is like super hands on, we had none of that for like 8 months almost. And like the school just handled it not so well. Let me just say it like that.
I feel like no school knows what they're doing. They're just kind of like, well, I guess we have to send them home, huh? We can't be responsible for kids dying on our property. So I guess we'll just send them home, and we'll still charge them the same
Oh
because
man, it's
screw them.
crazy.
We need the
Yeah,
money.
like honestly, like we ended up getting like one half an hour class once a week. And it was just like, all right, here's a document with like questions, and then come back in half an hour and we like discuss. And it's like, all right, thanks.
It's like I'm learning so much for all this money I'm paying.
Yeah, no, it was
Yay!
honestly like horrible. I really didn't like it. But yeah.
What made you choose physiotherapy?
Basically, well, when I was like younger, I was like, I'm gonna be a plastic surgeon because that earns hella money. And then I saw how many years you have to study, so I was like,
You're
nah,
like, no, no, no,
no
no, no,
thanks.
no. That's a lot of
Yeah.
time. I feel you. I feel you. I was like, they got to do how many years of school?
No
Mm-mm.
thanks. But yeah, so then after I got really into dancing and stuff, and then I kind of like looked at kind of like a dancer's career span, I guess you could say. And it's like where I would want to dance, it would be like in the States, like super competitive. But I also didn't really want to live in the States because of the political status at that point. And
I feel you. It's been a struggle over here. It's crazy. These people wildin', I
yeah,
swear.
no, and it's just like super expensive. Like I don't got that kind of money, and I'm
Preach.
not making my mom spend that money. It's like she already paid for like all LU schooling.
I feel you. That was already a ripoff in and of
Right.
itself.
But yeah, so then there also like the career lifespan is almost like just 10 years, like 8 years, just actually dancing. And then you're kind of like a teacher for the rest of your life. So I was like, I'm not really into that. So what's the next best thing that I can like still dance on the side, but then also like kind of incorporate that with dancing, like my profession with dancing. And I was like physiotherapy because a lot of physios like work with dancers, like dance companies and stuff. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll join that stream. But yeah, no, like I really enjoyed it. It's a really great study, but it's just a lot of work. Like you don't really know, well, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into, but at the same time, like it's a lot of stuff that like you just haven't even gotten in high school.
Yeah.
Like maybe I had one class with Mr. V for like health, and I was like learning the bones of the body, and that was basically it. And like maybe some biology,
Yeah, I feel
but
you.
other than that, nothing. Like there's nothing there. Like nothing can prepare you for learning like human anatomy in Latin. Like and then like
I feel you. I remember we used to do like those, like, what was it? The STEM stuff like in English where like they'd force you to learn all like these Latin stems for fancy
Yeah,
words and quiz us on it on the regular.
yeah, no, and then like you never used it after. I was like,
Yeah, exactly. Like it was just like, okay, this is cool to know, but the application though, you know? Yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like that there are a lot of like careers that we're not exposed to on the island. And so like when you decide what you want to study, you kind of are like taking this leap of faith. You're kind of like, okay, I think this is what I want to do based on what I read on the internet or like kind of what I can kind of like think of, but then you do it and you're like, oh wait, whoa. There's all this other stuff that I didn't know, and I don't know if I still agree with my
yeah,
choice.
literally, like it's insane. Like, yeah, no, it's crazy. But like, I did enjoy the study until like Corona and stuff, because then, yeah, school didn't really help, and then like, just like I like ended up getting a burnout actually, so it was just horrible. Like, I think around this time last year, I was like ready to drop out. I was like, no, I've had enough.
I feel you. It's just like, why are we doing
I
this?
was like,
I don't
I'm
see
about to
it.
be the
The
family
world is
disappointment.
ending.
Like,
Everybody dying. Why I need this degree?
literally.
What is the point? I
And
feel.
then like I was like, okay, like I'm in my third year of uni. Like, let me just like bang out the last few months of this year and next year, because I started like basically in the fourth year, you just do all your internships and then you write your thesis as well. And I was like, let me just bang out these last couple months. Like my final exam, like for like the learning part, like school part of the study, was like a month after the winter break, basically. So I was like, let me just do this, like just bang out through it. But then I also had like a couple friends I was like talking to, and one of them actually works in the yachting industry, which is quite a big leap. But like I was just talking to her about it, and like a couple of my friends were like going ahead doing the SPCW, which is basically like that course that like certifies you to work on boats and yachts and all of that. So I was like, they earn very well, and I can also be a physio on a boat. So why not make the best of both worlds? Like I can basically travel.
Boat life look lit. I'm not gonna lie. The boat life be looking like a vibe. Like I be talking to Becky about it, and I'm like, slowly she converted me to that side. I'm like, why did they not teach this in school again? Like the only person I remember that ever cared about boats was Charlie.
Oh my
That was
god.
it. Like it was just Charlie on his own little rant about how he was gonna go and sail them yachts, and we were like, "Cools, boy,
Yeah.
cools." But like now you're really seeing like, yeah, no, Brody was right. Like he knew exactly what he was talking about. Like he saw the vision. I was like, I feel you. I feel
Yeah,
you.
no, like literally, like you basically just get to travel. Like obviously, like you're working, but you have the opportunity to travel and like see so much of the world, depending on which boats are going on and stuff like that. And like you don't have to pay for rent. Like you basically don't have to pay for
The
food.
food
Like
and the food good. Like
literally.
and we spoiled on that island. We used to that good
Mhm.
food. Like
Literally. So I was like, maybe I'll try that out. Like maybe I could do that like after my study, because I did think it would be like quite a disservice to my profession to start out with a burnout and then like just keep pushing through. It would just make it worse. So I thought maybe I could just do the yachting thing for like a year or two, and then if I still wanted to like do the physio thing, I could do my master's and then go on mega yachts if I still really liked it and be a physio there.
yeah. It's weird because it's like I feel like nobody really tells you about burnout, you know? Like when like we're in high school and they're like, pick your career. What do you want to be for the rest of your life? Like nobody ever tells you like, hey, just so you know, adults experience this thing called burnout.
Mhm.
And no matter what field you choose, there might be a point in time where for whatever reason you don't enjoy it anymore. But they don't ever tell you. They're just like, yeah, go spend all that chunk of money, waste your
Uh-huh.
life, and eventually you come out hating the very thing that you loved, and then it's like what was the point of that?
Literally, like you're just like almost like the whole world around what you loved just crumbles apart.
Exactly. Like your whole self-esteem, everything is just tied to it, and you just feel like what, and then you just feel crappy because you're like everybody else out here
Mhm.
thriving and I'm here just like
Yeah,
a lost little guppy.
like you just also see like physical power and stuff just like it just completely like melts away, and like you don't have that physical ability that you used to have before. Like a lot of people are like starting, not like that it's like corona, but you also get like really out of breath and just mentally fogged and just yeah, like
Anxious,
as
I feel.
physios, like you do see like burnout patients as well. And the amount of people that have been coming to the practices with just burnout like symptoms and stuff like that is crazy. And like especially around this time because of what like around corona and stuff, insane. Like the numbers are like going so high like right now. It's not not okay.
How has your corona experience been? Because I'm assuming you've been in the Netherlands for the majority of it, but like how has it been for you? Like just navigating it? Because I feel like already being abroad is kind of hard because you're not home, but also it's just like COVID is just a bummer. Plus the Netherlands ain't tropical,
No,
you know.
like we just got out of lockdown like for the third time. Like we were one of the few countries in Europe, like one of the only countries in Europe that was in lockdown like right now.
I feel you. We in America are like lockdown. Yeah, we did that one time in 2020 and they were like, nah, 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 we can't keep doing
Yeah.
that.
Oh man, like Corona has been one hell of a journey. Like it's still ongoing, obviously, but
Exactly. Like we're talking about it like this bitch left. Like she's still here with
yeah,
round four. Like, what's up?
like she's like knocking on the door, like hello, next variant.
You thought I left? Like, no, I'm still here.
Oh my god. Oh, like so like I mean, it already wasn't starting out great. Like I like mental health wise, it was just like spiraling down and like it just wasn't going well for me. So I didn't know what was going on and I thought I was a homebody and then lockdown came and it proved I really wasn't. I missed the
You're like, I need to get out of this cage. I don't like these four walls no
like
more. Mm-mm.
I do have family. Like I live with my dad right now, so like there was like that family connection like around me and stuff. But I still felt like super alone, even though like I had people around me. It still just didn't fulfill that kind of part in my brain, I guess you could say. So it was like really difficult in the beginning, like in 2020, and then like I was I was just really down and I'm super open about this and like mental health and stuff. So like I even went to go
No,
see
I
like a
appreciate you being super open
like
about
I
it.
think it's important to
Yeah,
talk about, but like I also went to go see a therapist
exactly.
and stuff.
That's awesome. Good for you because I feel like a lot of people don't even take that step to go and talk to someone. So that's incredible. Good for you. Good for
Thank
you.
you. Yeah, like because obviously like your friends can only say so much, and I just really needed someone professional to call me out on my shit, to say the least.
I feel you. Sometimes you just need that unbiased third opinion to be like, Marlo, you tripping, girl. You
Yeah, like
tripping.
literally, like
Relax.
it. Yeah, so like she really helped, and like it went really well. And then like I already had like my tickets booked like from already before to like go back home in the summer, but we didn't know because of Corona and stuff. But I was like going mad, like because St. Martin was like in the orange code and like didn't know if like I could still travel or not. And then like I was like so like negative that I thought that my PCR was gonna come out positive even though I hadn't seen people for like the last month.
You were like, I don't know. It's just gonna find me. It's like I feel like when you're a teenager and you think you're pregnant, but you've never done it before, and you're just like, I don't know. I humped stuff. I feel like this is wrong.
like I hadn't seen anyone besides my dad and my brother, and they didn't go out because they're both asthmatic. So like they weren't risking nothing for anything.
They're
Like
like, we not taking no chances in this
so I was
crib.
like,
Mm-mm. I
I
feel
bet
you.
you it's gonna come out positive, and I'm gonna get that email from KLM telling me I can't travel. And then like as soon as I got the email, I was like shaking, and then I read it and it was like negative, and like I burst into tears because I was like so happy. Because then like you know,
Yeah, I can imagine because you're always like, oh shit.
hmm
This is like that test where it's like, if you dirty or not, you're like, oh
literally.
no, don't make me one of them.
But I was like so happy just to just like see my mom and like all my friends again, and like a lot of like for me like my mental health like back home it kind of just like cleared like
It's
clears
something about
up.
Saint Martin, it just make everything it fix everything, it fix it all, I
Literally.
swear, I felt the same way, I went home for a week and I was like, "Why did I leave?
Right.
The rest of the world making me feel crazy."
Literally.
I'm like, "Can I just stay here? Like, this is my safe haven." Like, I just feel so at peace and at awe, just love and not
Yeah.
judged. And the rest of the world just make you be feeling crazy, I swear, I agree.
Like it was so needed. Like I just needed to be home and just be with my mom and my friends that like I would consider my family as well, and just have that time just to relax for a bit before I head on into like the third year of like uni and stuff, because like that was also super stressful and everything, and they had us doing like extra courses like online and stuff, and it was just really stressful. And then third year, it started off well, but then like we started having like um on property like classes and stuff with school, which was nice, but it wasn't classes. It was just like the teachers being supervisors and just like kind of watching us, and then us figuring everything out on our own. So it's like, why are we here still?
I hate that. I hate when they're like, "You figure it out," and I'm like, "But why did I pay you though? Like,
I
why
actually
you
went off on
here?"
one of the teachers, like, like I don't
They be testing you, I
like
swear.
like it wasn't even like in a mean way, but like they would like write these situations of like a case study that we had to do and like figure out what we would do as treatments, and y'all didn't even teach us how to do like treatments and stuff. So I like told the teacher, come here like for a second, like come here real quick. So it's like
Like, let's not embarrass. Let's make this a whole class drama. Just come
like,
here. We got to talk. I
yeah,
feel.
literally. Like I just was like, okay, look, like y'all are like trying to help us, but you're not. Like you're writing these case studies on the board, telling us to figure out treatments, but we're asking you how we're supposed to treat people. But then this is all you come up with. Like we're supposed to be learning from you, but you're not teaching us. So how are we supposed to come up with a proper, like adequate treatment plan for a patient? But y'all are not teaching us from the get go. So like, what is this? Like figure it out. Like give us like a proper lesson on how to treat patients, and then we could go from there and figure out our own treatments. But
Yeah,
like
exactly.
now,
Like,
like
what are the things that you need to consider? Like, how do you like actually understand when you take information from them versus like understanding it yourself?
yeah,
I feel like especially with physiotherapy, a lot of it is like being able to just really see like what is an ideal alignment and then being able to notice what is off on another person. But if you don't have that trained eye, like
no, literally, like they preach exercise therapy, but they never took us to the gym to go and do exercise therapy. Like, how am I? Like, I am not like nowhere near a gym rat. Like, I don't go to the gym. Like, I go like maybe once a month or
you're not on that
something. Like,
gym life, protein life, fuck car.
like I'm trying to be like drinking my protein shakes and doing like a little home workout, but like that's only now. But like
I
imagine me
feel.
back then, and like then them saying, yeah, no, exercise therapy, this and that, and it's like, all right, like okay, first of all, I need to know the like antagonist and agonist muscles. So you know what to target for treatment. Like you need to know the symptoms of what you're treating and like what you need to like make sure you get better and what's not, and like how much a person can handle. Like we're supposed to learn that in school, but y'all didn't do any of that.
You're like,
Like
figure it out. Y'all should know. Have the intuition.
for my final exam for the, because we do like performance assessments basically, and that's like a hour and a half long exam. That's just you, your teacher, and a patient. So they
Like a
give,
real patient?
no, not a real patient. Like
Okay,
your
okay.
classmate just like has like a little script and stuff that they have to
Okay,
make,
okay.
but that's an hour and a half long. So it's like super intimate and just like super nerve wracking. But like I just passed, and I was like, man, I'm just above passing. I really couldn't care less. Like I'm glad that this is over with. Like I
You're
could,
like, we got that pass. We could let it go.
that's done. Like I couldn't care because I was like, I'm just gonna learn everything in my internship, and that's
You're
it.
like,
Like
C's get degrees. We gonna get that real life experience.
exactly. Like I learned everything I was supposed to learn in the last 3 years in my first internship, basically. Like it's insane. Like I felt hella dumb like in my first like week of my internship. And then like I just kind of like tried to like push myself out there and be a bit more open to like these learning experiences and just kind of follow along with my supervisor and stuff. And he was there every step of the way. Like he made sure that I could be an adequate physiotherapist by the end of my internship. Like right now, this week, I'm going to be doing my final exam for this internship. And he was there every step of the way, like for mental health, for
We
all the
love
facts.
that.
Like it was amazing, like such a great experience. But I was like, damn, like why didn't I learn all of this in school? Like I don't get it. Like it just made me so confused. But I don't understand, like, because they don't have like the same, I guess you could say, opportunities in school, like for the Dutch, like for the internationals, as they do for the Dutch people, which is really annoying because the Dutch people in our school, not the Dutch people, but like the Dutch classes and so, they get like extra opportunities. And it's like, okay, if you're going to offer them, you have to offer us something as well. You know, like you can't call yourself an international school if you're not going to provide for both people,
Preach.
you know,
Exactly.
like it's just ridiculous. And we've called them out on it like so many times, but they still don't really do shit. But yeah, you know, it kind of is what it is. You need to figure it out. I'm just glad I had this place as my first internship.
'Cause you're like, at least now you can feel more confident in your ability to actually like give care to someone because you're like, okay, well, I actually know what's being done in the real world in this industry. And now you can kind of see like how things map together from
Yeah,
what you do learn in class, which
yeah.
is always awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I'm curious like what your experience was also like growing up on St. Martin as like someone that's also biracial because I feel like I don't know I feel like one thing I realized only recently was like when people like I never realized like there was this whole I don't know if this is the same thing in the Netherlands, but like you were mentioning how America is this whole political conundrum. I feel you, sis. It really is. And like I didn't realize that like when I came to America, because like obviously when you're on the island, America just looks like this amazing place that has their shit together and they have Panda and Forever 21 and that's all your girl you know, like that's all we
Yeah.
care about. We just like we can buy cute stuff that we can't get here, and they got Victoria's Secrets.
Mhm.
Um, and now you go to America and they're like Victoria's Secret is not diverse and not inclusive, and you're like, whoa, 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 what
Yeah.
just happened? You're like, wait a minute,
Mhm.
um, guys, like I just found out about y'all. Like, what is going on? But I feel like when it came to coming in America, like I realized they care so much about race and like like they preach this whole like diversity and inclusion, and it was so weird to me because I was like on the island, like we are diverse and inclusive, but like it was just like that was it. Like there was no
Yeah.
alternative. And like you grow up with kids and you have neighbors that don't look like you, they don't believe the same things as you, they have completely different like ethnic backgrounds than you. And so like I feel like we grow up at least with the comfort of like being okay in our individuality. But I'm curious like what your experiences was like as like a biracial woman on the island because you know in St. Martin they also annoying as hell, but you have like the islander and also like European ties as well in like your background, right? So I'm curious, yeah, like how was it growing up as Marlo in St. Martin?
It was pretty chill. Like, I mean, I never really had like big, but I never really thought about it, to be honest. Like, it was
Exactly, right?
only
Like we don't have these issues.
like it was only like when the states started like having these like riots and like different protests and stuff like that. Obviously, like we don't really experience that very often. Like, I mean, maybe in the workplace, like I've heard the Jamaicans are like racist against like the Haitians or something like that.
I feel you. Just dumb shit. Dumb ignorance, I feel.
Yeah, but for the rest, I've never really experienced exclusion like from groups and stuff like that. But I never really thought like when I was younger, let's say, I'd never really thought like, oh, maybe it's because of my race that I was like excluded from this activity or something like that, you know? I had my friends and I'm still best friends with my two best friends from since I was 2.5. And like I've never felt like some sort of like, because they're both white, but like I've never felt some type of exclusion because like they were both white and they were like superior or something like that.
Right? Exactly. It's so weird. I'm like, it was so weird. Like when I came here, I'm like, why are y'all thinking like this? I'm like, maybe they just a shitty person. Like may have nothing to do with race, but they're like programmed that everything is a race issue. It's really weird. Like,
Yeah, no, like the only thing I had issue with was sore feet. And I think everyone basically takes up issue with that. But when I was a child, I always thought it was a bit weird. Like I never really liked short speech, um, because like they would
it's
really dress
blackface, pretty much. That's what it
outrageously, and
is.
then like I think I was like 5 or something, and then one of them came up to me, and I was like, "Are you okay? Like,
Like, like what is up with you?
who are you? Like, you're still the same person as yesterday. Like, but now you just have black on your face, and you're trying to be someone that's like of my race. Like, I don't get it. Like,
Or like, why not just cast black people for Zwarte? Like, why did it have to intentionally be a white dude with a full blown painted blackface? Like, even if it was the idea that he climbed down the chimney, like, why would he have
that's
to be
bullshit.
completely black? Like, even if you just patted some of the ash on his face, like that seems more realistic than trying to.
A lot of people try to like cover up the real story, I guess you could say, with that. It's basically like the Sinterklaas, he came to Spain to the Spanish Moors that were black people and enslaved them. And that's where it originates from, basically. So it had nothing to do with
Oh damn!
people going
I didn't
down
know
like the
that.
chimney and all of a sudden getting like blackface, Like that's
Oh
not
shit.
nothing.
That's different than the
This
story I was told. I thought it was just white dude climbed down the chimney and he had ash on him.
that's
And
what
so
they
they thought
try
it'd
to
be funny
say.
to just go with the full blackface. They were like, "Ooh, they put a little bit of black and they were like, this let's see where this can go. Let's see how
Yes,
far we can
let's
take it."
have
And they just
red
got but I didn't know
lips.
it was they enslaved the Moors. Damn.
Yeah, when I did my research like 2 years ago, because obviously, like I think black feet is just like completely
It's
criminal,
stupid. Yeah, it's
like.
straight up
But then
stupidness.
some of my classmates were like, "Yeah, but I thought of him as a hero when I was a kid. Like I wanted to be Black Pete." And I'm like, "How are you justifying someone impersonating a race and like making
But I'm
fun
like, what
of
is
them?"
heroic? What is the hero character? What is it? Is it that he's white and he can put on blackface and you like that privilege of making fun of black people?
Honestly,
Is that the heroicness
like I
that
thought
they
it
are
was
longing for?
quite enough just to be like, he's dressing up as another race. Like, is that not wrong enough
You're
for
like
you?
Marlo's like, guys, like this isn't cute. Like
Like, so I was like, let me just do
this
some
is
like
not a
extra research.
costume.
Like, honestly, I thought it was like crazy. Like, I didn't, I just didn't understand the thought process of what goes on. Like, make it make sense. Like, I don't get what's like going through their mind to think that that's
I
okay.
feel you.
Because it's
I'm
not.
like, what is going on up there? Like, are you missing a few screws? But I think what it is people just don't have the experience. Like a lot of those people probably feel that way because their friends also looked up to his work to Pete as some whatever heroic. Like I'm not gonna lie, like when I was in Dutch class and we sang the songs and we ate our little,
Paper
gingerbread
notes.
cookies and it's cute. Like I was rocking it with Sinterklaas, but like
Yeah.
I mean we could have Sinterklaas and erase the Zwarte Pete part. I'm like, I
That's what
want
I've
to
been
root for the
saying.
dude. Like I want to root for him. I'm loving the whole chocolates. I'm all a fan. I'm just like this one part of it, not really important.
Just take it
Just
out.
saying.
Like, but then they say like, oh, it's traditie, like it's tradition, and it's like
And
just
I'm like,
because it's
screw
tradition doesn't
tradition.
mean it's right.
We get to
Like
decide what is tradition.
children
Traditions
are
can
going
change,
literally like children are going home crying because white children are calling the black children short beats, and like
which is
not gonna
rude. And I
lie,
see kids doing dumb shit like that because kids are mean.
kids in Holland are horrible. They they're cruel. Like I like speaking from experience, like because I
You're like,
moved
these kids are mean.
like literally like I moved here when I was 11 for a year, and I didn't even know what being mean was, to be honest. I was just like happy all the time. I was always with friends, never really had arguments or anything like with friends. Like, sure, it was like a little bicker back and forth, but like, other than that, like, there was literally nothing. And then I moved to Holland, and it was like almost falling out with my friends every other day. And I'm like, is this normal, like, to you guys? Like they'd be friends one day, and then like the next week they wouldn't be friends, and then like people were just really mean and rude to each other. I don't know if that was just the area I was in, but I was like, these people are cruel, and I definitely started like having like depression symptoms that
You're like,
year.
these people are making me feel sad.
like,
I don't like them.
like
I
it's
feel you.
not
It's
okay.
interesting because like Dutch people are known for being blunt, but like you never think like where does this bluntness stem from?
Mm,
You
literally.
know? And it's like this whole idea of holding on to tradition. I'm like, I'm sure slave owners felt like keeping slaves was keeping tradition and breaking that was breaking tradition. And yet here we are, right? So it's like break the tradition. You did it once. Actually, they didn't even do it. They were forced to do it once. So I feel like maybe they just got to be forced to do
Do
it
it
again.
again.
Because the Dutch are the type where they like to be like, we're all kumbaya, but really are low key like, we hate all
Racist.
immigrants.
Oh my, like,
But they
honestly,
steal all your spices to season the food though.
but they don't even use spices. Pepper's a little too much.
It's like what did the what Dutch West Indies company do if y'all not even
Oh
using the
no.
seasonings?
Yo, I can't. But the thing is, it's hard to like move and kind of break this kind of thing when the PM is always like, yeah, no, I also paint my face black. It's tradition. How are we supposed to move on from this whole start to speak thing? Like, if the PM even partakes in that, and, like, it's not bad. It's not racist.
Maybe we
Like,
gotta do the opposite. We gotta walk around as like black people with white
white face.
face more often for
And
them to see how uncomfortable it makes them and be like, oh, so you see how you feel? Think
exactly.
about that next time. Think about that. Think
Wow,
about it.
it's crazy. This world is
But
crazy.
Marlo,
Yes.
I feel like one thing I admire about you, though, aside of the fact that the world is in fact crazy and you can somehow stay happy and bubbly through the chaos, always feel like you have always been like very radiant, like just very pretty, just very, very like
Thank you.
I feel like exuding like positive vibes. Like you're always like I feel like people always enjoy being around you. It's not like you're ever like, ugh, Marlo, ugh, why why is this bitch here? Like it's never like that. But I'm
Oh,
curious, like,
thank
and
you.
I feel like now, like, cause you're more, you're trying to be an influencer and ting. I see you, girl, out
Trying,
here.
trying.
I'm curious, like, how like you built, cause like I know you said like you struggle with like being depressed a little bit sometimes, or like being sad, but like I feel like the image that you have of you is someone who's very confident and like very assured of themselves, and like you're super confident in your body, and like you don't give a damn about what mofo's finna say. Like you just, I know I'm hot and I'ma flaunt it. Yes, I know you finna look. Double tap while you at it. Like I'm curious, like how did you build that confidence to like really own your ish and feel like confident in who you are as Marlo?
Mhm. Like, honestly, it's quite a wonder that I actually have that kind of confidence, because I am confident in myself, and I do pride myself on it, and I really don't care about what anyone says. Like, I don't care what anyone says about my posts, and it's like, you know what? Like, if you're gonna base your opinion on me by what I post, then that's your problem. I don't really care. Like, I have my friends, I have my family. Like, I really couldn't care less. But like,
You're like my squad solid. The rest of y'all just here.
yeah, you know what? If you really don't like me, then you don't have to follow me. Like, if you really have that big of an issue, like, take it up with yourself. That's your problem. Like, it sounds like a personal problem to me if you don't like me, but like, I don't really care, like, do your thing. But going, like, cause dance, like, the dance world was quite crucifying,
Mm.
to say
You have
the
to
least.
build a thick
Like,
skin. I feel you.
yeah, like, with, I'm not gonna name names, but with the dance teacher, she can be quite harsh. Like, not necessarily on me, but like a lot of the times she can be rude, and she's very loving. But some things you're like, all right, you didn't have to say that. Like, I get it.
There was a nicer way to convey the message.
hmm but then at the same time, it did build my confidence at some point where even though it's like kind of seeking for external validation, like going from like junior company to like senior company and stuff like that, but at the same time, like, I think it's fine to get some sort of external validation if it helps boost your own like internal validation, kind of, I guess you could say. Like, sure, it starts from there, and then like after that, like I just never really cared too much. I don't know. My mom was also super supportive, always there for me no matter what. She always helped me kind of just basically, she is the one that I look up to the most. She is
Aw.
my, like, I'm not even trying to be corny, but like, she's the reason why I'm a feminist. She is the one that has been doing everything for me since my birth, basically. Like, since I was 4. Both my dad and my mom separated when I was 4 or 5 years old. And she's been paying school. She put me in every single after school activity that she could. Like, not like to be away from me, but it's more instead of me
To
hanging
give you
around.
opportunity to see what you
Exactly.
like, yeah.
Like she gave me the options, and she knew that I could just do anything if I just put my mind to it. And she always like encouraged me to like just go for it. Don't question yourself. Just do it. Like obviously everyone can be a little bit insecure, but like she really pushed me to be the best of what I can be, basically. And she did everything for me, and I just look up to her, and she's my superhero. And
Aw, I feel like moms are so special and people don't even be giving them credit half the time.
yo,
Like, we are nothing without our mamas, I swear. Like, I wouldn't even be the woman I am without my mama. Like, I love that woman so much. I would die for her. Like,
mhm,
gladly, I'd be like, kill me.
come take
I
me.
know,
Like
just take
honestly.
me. And it's just like incredible, like how our mothers, like really, I feel like shape like the women that we are, and like you said, like because of your mom, like you're a feminist, and the fact like that they sacrifice so much for you, like even their bodies really, to
Mhm.
bring you into the world. It's like I love anyone. I'm like, how could you ever hurt a mama? I'm just like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, like moms are so important, like they're so
they're
important.
crucial to society, and just like, yeah, but she's my everything. And I I always tear up whenever I'm like at the airport, like on my way to like get out of immigration and stuff back home. I'm just like in tears. I can't wait to see my mom.
I feel you. It's like that's my OG, my ride or die. Like that's my day
Literally.
one right there. When I was shitting myself, she had my back. Like
Literally.
this is the woman. Yeah, exactly. I always love like when moms are, because I feel like some people don't always have moms that are like super supportive, especially like when things aren't going well or you make a
Mhm.
mistake and like where you really are like maybe not in your best state because you maybe made a mistake that made you feel really shitty about yourself. But
Yeah.
then to have a mom that's like is there and lifts your head up and is like, "No, sweetheart, like it's okay. Like we all make mistakes, but you can still be better. Like you're still whole, you're still strong, you're still worthy of love." Like that is so important. And like I didn't realize like as a girl how much my mama meant to me.
Mhm.
'Cause especially when you're a teenager, there's a moment in time when you're kind of like, I hate this woman. Like, oh my God, would you just
Ooh.
leave me alone? But no, like honestly, now I look back and I'm like, that woman had my back.
So appreciative of her. In my last year of high school is when I really started realizing the connection that my mom and I both have, and that I want to keep that for forever. Basically, for me, it was kind of like until like I was like 11. It was my mom, my Oma, and I that always lived together. So kind of like 3 generations. And I was just brought up by a bunch of women, and like it's super important to keep those connections that you've built over the years with them. Like even though you get into argument here and there, like it's not worth the whole relationship that you have with your mother. And it's just super important for me, like just to always have her there. And yeah, I just love my mom.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Can I ask you about the lip tat?
Yeah.
Like when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God." Like I was like, no way." I was like, "This girl got a lip." And then not even to just get a lip tab, but to get one that is so freaking badass. Oh my gosh. I was like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, I need to know. the story behind this lip tat because first of all, getting a tattoo like when I got my first tattoo, I swear I nearly had a panic attack. Like
Oh
it
my
was
god.
spontaneous, and I was like, when you're like about to be like, okay, okay, I'm gonna do it, but then like right before that, like I swear I almost stopped breathing. I was just like, okay, they finna cut me. Like, I don't know how this finna feel. But I was
Yeah.
like, we got this. But then when they start, you're like, okay, okay, whew,
All
not so
right.
bad, not so bad.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like, what, first of all, like, inspired this tattoo? And then how was it actually getting a lip tat? Because that is like oh my God. If someone was like, what is my fun fact on a Teams meeting, all I would do is just like
Yeah.
flip my lip out and be like, read this real quick.
Yeah, no, like honestly, like it was my first tattoo, first of all.
Damn, you a real
Like,
baddie for that. That's your first tattoo? Oh my gosh.
I was like I want something that really speaks to me. Like I've always wanted like a lip tattoo. I was like, all right, that looks like so dope. Like I'd love to get one of those. Let's do it. And then like I went with my friend Malik, Martos. I went with him to the tattoo shop because we actually live in the same city. So we
Sweet.
went, and he was like, "Are you gonna get one? Like for real?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, let's do it." So it's kind of like quick, like that I had to like decide what I wanted. But I was like, maybe I'll just do the lip tattoo. Like no one can see it unless like I show it, and a lot of people said that it doesn't really hurt that bad. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. And then I always say this. I always say pussy is power. It's just like a thing that comes out of my mouth daily,
Because it is, let's be real. We carrying life between these legs.
literally. And yeah, I thought it just spoke to me, like to my true self.
Oh, it's a
So
badass
I was
saying. I
like,
was like, yes. I was like, all feminists everywhere. Just like high
literally.
fiving Marlo from like beyond.
Yeah, no, like it was super dope, and the lady was super nice. She was like, yeah, no, let's do it. Like I could do it right now, but I had like an exam like the next day, so I was like, give me like 2 days and then I'll come back. So I went to do it, and like when she started, I didn't feel the needle at all. Nothing. Like it only
Good.
felt like a little bit sensitive here, which is like a little bit like thinner skin, and then like after like she finished it, but she was like halfway through the word, and she was like, all right, like we're almost done, and I'm like, oh, we already started. And then
That's always a good feeling, right? You're like, wait, this started? We
yeah.
okay? Cool.
But yeah, no, like honest, I would say the nipple piercings hurt more than the lip tattoo, but like the nipple piercings weren't even that bad either, so I was like, I could
Really?
do
I
this.
feel like nipple piercings are low key hot AF.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had one though, I would not play with it. Like I'm just nervous about like breastfeeding after you pierce it.
Oh no! Like I even asked about it. I was like, at the appointment, I was kind of like laying on the bed, and I was like, "Wait, what about like breastfeeding?" And she was like I was like, I might sound dumb for this, but what about breastfeeding? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna get kids anytime soon, but like
But
when it does
it's a
happen,
future problem, right? Like we gotta at least be prepared for the future. Exactly.
and then she's like, "Yeah, no, like don't even worry about that. To be honest, you just take them out if you want to. You could leave them in. Obviously, it's gonna be like weird if like the baby's biting on your nipple and then you have the barbell in it. But yeah, no, I was like, I'm not gonna get kids until like I'm at least like 29, 30. Like I
Right.
think like probably after that
Push it
only.
back. Push it back. I feel you. Every time I'm like I'm getting close to my date, I'm like, we're gonna push that back just a few more
Yeah,
years. Push that back. Push that
literally.
back.
Like, but yeah, no. So I was just like super excited to get the lip tattoo. I was like, this is gonna be fucking dope. Like, I didn't tell my mom though. I only told her until I like got back home, and I was like,
It's like
okay,
it's done. It's
yeah,
here.
you can't really
There's
do
no
much.
going back. We cannot return.
Literally. So I was just like, all right, mama, and then just like pulled my lip down, and she was like,
It was like,
what?
honey, it's cute.
Yeah, she didn't really know what to say, but she's like, all right, well,
Yeah.
like nobody can see it anyways, so I don't really care. So I was like,
She's
you
like,
know,
yeah, at least you hit it, you
yeah.
know.
But yeah, no, since then I've gotten like a couple more, and my mom's like not a big fan of tattoos, but like if it
I
has
feel
meaning
you.
behind it, she's like, all right, cool, whatever. Like,
Yeah, I feel like my parents are kind of like, why though? But like, they're not gonna be like harsh and no. They're just gonna be like, okay, I guess she did it.
Yeah, like
What can we do? She's not in our house anymore. But how was the healing process? Because it's in your mouth. Like, did you have to? 'Cause, like, normally you have to keep it like covered and stuff. Like, how does that
yeah.
work when you eat?
Um, like I ate before my appointment, like obviously brushed my teeth and stuff, but for the first time that I went, because I did get a retouch and stuff, I need to get like another one because they do fade quite quickly. And mine is also a bit more
Mm.
fine line as well, so it's not like super thick where it would stay like longer and stuff. But I ate before my appointment, and then I just put like a piece of paper towel like in between the lip and the teeth basically, and to keep it from rubbing and stuff. And yeah, like I mean, it didn't hurt or anything. Like I just didn't drink anything acidic or like fizzy and stuff
Mm.
like that. I just like had water, like try not to drink juice and stuff, and it was fine. Like it it didn't really feel like anything to be honest. So
That's
super
good. I feel
easy.
like that's exactly what you would want, right? Like it to be an easy peasy. That's interesting. I would have never thought lip tattoos would be like the easy one to do.
Yeah, yeah,
What are
no.
your other tattoos?
I've got two like small butterflies on my hip slash like
Cute.
glute area. Basically, my Oma and Opa and I we went to like a butterfly farm when I was younger, and
Oh,
there's like huge butterfly that landed on my Opa's butt, and it covered like 75% of his butt, and he had a big butt too. So it's kind of like a memory that we also took a picture of at that moment. And my Oma and I, we just like pull it out always for laughs. And it's just like a really nice memory. And I was like, I'd love to get that as like my second tattoo. And
no, that's a beautiful story too. Like it's so cute. I love it.
yeah, like I really loved it as well. And like as soon as my mom saw it over like Christmas or December break, um, she like immediately knew what it meant and she like was super happy about it. Like I didn't even have to
That's how you
tell
know it
her.
was a good one too. Like you didn't even
Yeah.
have to tell her. Like the people that know what it
No.
mean, and that's really what matters.
Yeah, it's super sweet and like the artist is like really nice as well. So I really appreciate that. And like she's just really great and with fine lines and stuff. And the other ones, I got one that's like right by my forearm, like right under my elbow, but like at the front. It says your time is limited. And even though it sounds like a bit like not morbid, but like negative, but at the same time, it's like,
No,
yeah, your
it's more
time is
like
limited. Like,
motivational, I feel.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like just use all the time that you have for yourself and like make sure that you're genuinely happy and you're doing everything for yourself. Like, not in a selfish way, but yeah, that's kind of in a selfish way, but like, as long as you're not hurting anyone, like, this is for you. Like, you're living for yourself. So use all the time that you have. And then my other tattoo I got last week. I
You're just out here getting them. Like I'm like, I need to get into my ideal body shape. Let me get a little thick, and then we're gonna just knock them out, get but I also want to design them myself.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, like
So I got a
quite a lot
plan,
of
but you just out
them.
here knocking them out. Good for you. But yeah,
Yeah.
continue, continue.
Yeah, no, like I had like everything like in my notes like all planned out and have like little like pictures and stuff for like inspiration and like what it means to me and then like where I want it and stuff.
Beautiful.
But I haven't told my mom what this one is as yet. I did tell her I was gonna get another one. And it's two koi fish, like one red one and one black one, like up the back of my calf by my Achilles tendon, basically. Like super minimalistic, like almost like one line drawing. But the black one is from my mom, representing my mom, because in Japanese culture, the black color on koi fish is meant for like more the dad, but in parents, my mom was both my parents, basically.
Mm.
And the red one can represent for the daughter or the mom. So that's me. And it's kind of like both of them swimming upstream. So like my mom's up front and then I'm here, like right behind her. And basically
It's
just like
beautiful.
going through the journey of life together since I was four basically, and it was just us two throughout the journey. And yeah,
That's
that kind of
so
just like represents
beautiful.
that.
No, that is so beautiful. I love how you be having the whole intention. Like, ooh, I love a tattoo that got attention because the last thing you hate is when someone's like, oh, why'd you get the tattoo? And they're like, I got it on a bed. And I'm like, you
Yeah.
fucking, ugh.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I want to make sure that it's not like disrespectful to any place or cultures or like because koi fish generally come from Japanese culture, and I really wanted to like make sure that I looked into it and I knew what they meant and like the story behind koi fish and like how the koi fish that like swam upstream basically turned into a dragon, which is most of like the biggest story I guess you could say of like koi fish and stuff.
It's
And
beautiful.
yeah, I just really wanted to like look into it and like make sure that and nothing was like controversial or anything like that. And like it did mean a lot for me as well. And
I think
yeah.
that's so important. I feel like more people don't even spend the time to try and learn. They're just like, oh, I'm going to get this word in Chinese because it looks cool. And then they find out it means soy sauce. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, shit. And you're like, well, you an idiot. So what you
Yeah.
expect, you know?
Yeah, no,
I really
exactly.
like when people like take the time, especially because like I feel like a lot of the time we hear all of these struggles about like cultural appropriation and stuff. But I feel
Mhm.
like one thing that I've always admired about St. Martin, where I feel like we don't really have that, is more because we appreciate like there's a level of like cultural appreciation too, where you can take from another culture
Yeah,
to create more.
definitely.
Instead of it being like, oh, this is from my peoples and only my peoples can use this symbol. Like that's so stupid
Yeah.
to me. But I
Yeah.
think it's so important, like when you are creating, especially even on your own body, that you have that intention because, like, this is something that is going to live with you, you know, for the rest of your life. And you want that every time you look at it, it reminds you of like that memory or that moment that speaks volumes to your existence, you
Yeah,
know? And I think that
exactly.
that's so beautiful. Like, you're capturing moments that speak to who Marlo is, you know, and how Marlo is who she is. And I think like that's why I love tattoos is because it's cataloging the journey, kind of like a passport stamp, but
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I forgot to mention, it maybe it sounded a bit random because it was koi fish, but when my mom and I lived in Aruba, the hotel she worked at had a koi pond and it had like a little bridge over it. So every time I went over to visit her, we would like look at the koi fish and name them. So that's why I
Oh,
was koi fish, and then I looked a little bit more into
you're
it.
like it come full circle, guys.
Yes.
There's a whole mapping to it.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's so awesome. I'm curious because you were like, you talk about like, you know, time is limited and wanting to make the most of time in your life and like living for yourself. I'm like, what is like Marlo's dream life look like? Like, what is it that you're like, if I'm doing this, I know like I'm in the best alignment with like the best version of Marlo. Like, who are you working to become, you know, in this life journey?
For me, right now, my main focus is to work on being genuinely happy. And I was really struggling with that last year around this time and the year before that. And I kind of made it like more of my mission to become a little bit more genuinely happy because at some point like I was really going through a whole cycle that like kind of just spiraled down, and I really just felt numb for a really long time, and I really didn't like that feeling, and I thought it was kind of like just kept on going in this cycle where I'd feel like really numb, and then like sure I'd have like little moments of like yeah ha 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 that's funny, happy for like 2 minutes, and then like for the rest of it I'd still like kind of react and just be like really numb, and it just kept on going on and on and on, and I was just really depressed and anxious for a while until like I started like seeing my therapist and stuff. And after that I was scared that I'd never be genuinely happy again. Like I thought I would just have that cycle for my whole life, and I was really scared, and I just didn't know what to do. So like that was basically the reason why I went to go see a therapist, like kind of to like break myself out of that cycle. And from there on, it's just been, I just want to be happy with whatever I'm doing. Like, it doesn't matter what, like, as long as it makes me happy and, like, I'm not hurting anyone that's around me or anything, then that's what I'm going to be doing because it doesn't make sense to suffer throughout a period just to get that little bit of reward, you know? Like, I'd rather be happy throughout doing something because that's a much bigger reward than just a few minutes of success.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. And I think that's so amazing that you are prioritizing, like finding out what makes Marlo happy, or like what are the things within your environment that cultivates this environment where Marlo feels like just not even I would like a contentness, but like gratitude more
Yeah,
so. And I feel like I'm curious, like, what does happiness look like for you? Because like I feel like I can definitely relate to a lot of what you're saying. Of when you were saying, like, I wondered even myself, like, would I ever be able to be like genuinely happy, like the happiness that you have when you're a kid and you're like just clueless about responsibility and you don't like nobody's expecting anything of you. And I used to like really like wonder, like, could I ever be that happy and like curious and free, like that version of myself. And it took me like I feel like only recently now do I feel like I finally understand like my purpose and my voice and like what makes me happy. But it took like me actually, like you were saying, taking that step to realize like, okay, there's something that I'm doing here that's not working for me. Obviously, like this is not the state I want to be living my life in. But like taking the step to be like, I am now gonna be committed to helping me, just
yeah,
helping me get back to myself, helping me get back to like who was it, like who was that little girl that made us do all of this in the first place? You know what I mean? Like who was that little girl that had that inspiration, that curiosity, that zest for life,
yeah,
um that allowed me to have this motivation for so long, because I felt like if I got back to her and I understood her, then everything else that I do going forward would not feel so like shitty,
yeah,
and like I wouldn't feel like as confused or just like always comparing myself or just like always just not being me, because I was just lost as to who I was and what was really going to make me happy. And I'm curious to find out like what have you found so far in your journey that really makes you happy? Cuz I found like for me like it's like little things, like when I dance for no freaking reason other than just like for me in my
yeah,
living room, like that makes me so happy. Like if I go to yoga class and like I just make it through the class and I do a good job, like that makes me so happy. Like when I speak up for myself and like I actually tell people what I think, like that, and like hear them actually be like, "Oh yeah, Nicole, like that actually makes sense." I'm so freaking happy. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And so it's like I'm curious, like what have you found that has been like things for you that bring you joy?
Mhm. Um, I've always loved dance. As you were, like, it just feels great on the inside. Like,
It
I've
does, right? You
always
just
like
feel
channeled my true self kind of through dance, and like I'd be allowed to like express myself through that. And dance has definitely helped with that, but also just yeah, doing things for myself, kind of in a way, like in a sense of like a journey for self, like on self love and stuff like that. Like kind of just dating yourself for a minute, just focus on yourself. I would let's say like start like going out like for like shopping and stuff. Like just do that by myself. Like find a quiet moment by myself and just like be able to be okay with just my own company. And like then I'd start like going on like lunch and like breakfast dates on my own. And then like I went to like dinner by myself and stuff like that. Because that's like really intimidating, not gonna lie. I really wanted to find a space, like find a moment where I would be okay with just being by myself. And like that really made me happy because at some point I was afraid of my own headspace. But the thing is, you need to take care of that, like, because that's there forever.
exactly.
Other people are temporary. You're in your head for forever. You need to make that a safe space.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And it's so many people don't. I'm like, babe, you only got you when all them people leave. It's just this.
Mhm.
Like, work on it.
Literally.
Work on it.
Like
Work on it.
literally. Like my next step was actually going to a festival on my own.
Hey,
I already bought the tickets and stuff, but
look
like
at you out here living life. I love it. I love that. That's so freaking awesome.
yeah, no, like I was super happy when I got the tickets. Like I got like a bunch of like different festival tickets, but then like lockdown and all happened here, so not sure if they're going
Killing
through,
dreams. COVID. Mm,
literally.
I feel you.
But now I'm actually also going home probably for my second internship. And like I did real like once I got back from December break basically, like when I got back to the Netherlands, I was like I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I don't have to go to school. I just need my internships done, and that's it. I felt so much happier just being around my mom and just like being in that tropical weather and
Okay,
just
you see,
like
Martin got
being
the vibes.
literally, I felt most happy in December basically, and I was like, why can't I just be that for the rest of the time?
Exactly. And the fact that you know you got the power to go and just live that life, like that is so incredible. Like that's how you know like you are the champion of your existence because you can decide like, you know what, Marlo, yeah, we not us messing with this depressing ass weather. Let's
Mm-mm.
go home, sis. And you can be like, you know what, sis, you right. Let us go home.
Yeah,
And you book your
literally.
ticket and you're back in the place that brings makes you just feel incredible.
Yeah. No, that's literally it. Like, I immediately started applying to different physio practices for my second internship, and I luckily got accepted to one of the places, well, to a couple places. But like,
A.
I'm super happy that I can basically like officially like start getting my tickets to go back home and just be where I feel happy and just loved by the people around me. And I think that's just super important. And I can just kind of continue on with my journey of self love, I guess you could say, and just like my journey of genuine happiness for myself as well.
It's so beautiful. I'm so happy that you are focusing on you, sis, and like to have such like a purpose, but it's like a purpose that the only person that benefits from this is yourself, which is why I feel like it's so important. Like I feel like oftentimes we do so much for other people, and
Hmm.
then we never think about like, but babe, why ain't you doing that for you? You out here buying gifts for all these other people. What gift you buy yourself? You buying
Exactly.
dinner for other people. What dinner
Mhm.
are you buying for yourself? You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
You
Like,
need to treat
what are the
yourself.
things that you do to just treat yourself? You know what I mean? To be like, yes, sis, I did do a good job this week. I
Yeah.
should go get a spa for that. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like we don't reward ourselves enough for the grind.
Mhm.
And that's like, I think it takes away from the journey because then we're always like not appreciating the moment. Like you said,
Yeah.
like taking space for ourselves.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
how can how can folks keep up with you, Marlo, if they want to follow your influencer journey and like, see what you up to, taking all these cute pics and all, if they want to be a part of just like understanding your journey and see how you grow, hearing about you talk more about mental health and just like what you're doing in the world of physiotherapy, or if maybe they just want to follow along with your internship when you back on the island, like how
Yeah.
can folks
Well, you can follow me on
connect?
Instagram. It's Marlo underscore SXM. And I've actually also been like talking to one of my friends, like trying to like be a bit more of an influencer, like kind of interacting a bit more with the crowd and just kind of like talking about some stuff like
Do it, girl. Do
just
it.
encouraging like everyone to kind of just be open to speaking about your mental health and yeah, with everything basically, kind of just like keeping it casual, but then also like touching up on those like um important topics that not everyone has been taught to do so. So I'm also trying to like incorporate that a little bit more into my platform.
Oh hell yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Do it. Because I feel like St. Martin, like we need St. Martin influencers out here in the streets repping. Like I want to see St. Martin models running for what am I saying? I want to see St. Martin models walking for Fenty and like, just like there's so many like areas for us to show up and thrive. I'm like,
Mhm.
I need my people to get it together. So go out there, Marlo.
Yep.
Give the people your wisdom. Show up, show out,
Mhm.
and just be great. Because like you, I feel like you have like you're like one of the people that walk in a room and they kind of like light it up, or people be like, "Oh my god."
Aw.
I feel like you're one of I've always sensed one of that energy from you, at least in school.
Aw, thank you.
And I'm happy to just see like you thriving, to see you working on you because that's what all we need in our 20s. Girls need to be focused on them,
Mhm.
trying to secure day bag, trying to figure out what she need, how to make her
Agreed.
happy.
Mhm.